second student speaker is Daniel Ober. He was selected by his fellow Perkins Honor Scholars to speak on behalf of the class. Daniel calls himself a quiet student, but in no way, shape, or form does this mean that he is not a standout student. He was chosen by his fellow Honor Scholars for a long list of good reasons. Daniel has one of the highest GPAs in his class with a 4.22. He has been a 2-year member of the National Honor Society and has served 1 year as an officer. He has been a member of the Model United Nations team for 6 years, was an officer in junior high. He has received numerous awards and honors over his career at Perkins, such as the Sandusky Eagle Scholarship, William DeLevis Memorial Scholarship, the Bosch Malone Honorary Science Award, and the Ohio University Gateway Scholarship. Yesterday, he added to his long list of hardware and won a variety of awards at our Honors Assembly, which consisted of the English, Math, Archie Griffith Sportsmanship Award, and the Goldfarb Academic Award. For the past 7 years, Daniel has even competed in track and cross country. In cross country, he was a captain of the team as a senior. Also, for the past 7 years, he has been a member of his church's youth group. In the summers, you might catch him tying off your boat at the Battery Park Arena, where he has worked for the past 2 years. Here today, we have a student that has accomplished much, and I know will continue to do so, as he has a very bright future ahead of him. He will be attending Ohio University this fall, majoring in computer science. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you Daniel Ober.
Well, we made it. In all seriousness, though, good evening. To start, I would like to echo Alex in extending a huge thank you to the entire Perkins faculty, staff, and administration. From Chaz, pretty much everyone's favorite childhood bus driver, and the teachers and staff at the elementary and middle school levels, to Mr. Niederhaus, Mr. Dolman, Mr. Gasteyer, Dr. Gunner, and the teachers in Sterling, and everyone else here at the high school, I speak on behalf of the entire 2012 graduating class in expressing our gratitude for everything you all have done during our time as students in the Perkins Local Schools District. I realize that throughout the past 4, 7, and for many of us, 13 years, we often tended to take your everyday presence for granted, but I just want to stress that each and every one of you who played roles in our educational upbringings were very much appreciated. Additionally, I'm certain that the vast knowledge we have gained and the innumerable lessons we all have learned while being students inside these walls are second to none. So again, thank you. Now, to be completely honest, I've never been an incredibly vocal person. I am fairly opinionated, especially when it comes to sports, but for the most part, I usually keep to myself. For this reason, it is an incredible honor to have been selected to be one of the 2 class speakers for the graduation ceremony. Though several people over the past few days have wished me luck and have kindly assured me that I am more than qualified for the position, I must admit that I was surprised to find out that I would be one of the people speaking, and am still kind of in shock that I'm actually up here doing this. That being said, there are a few important things that I would like to say, as all of us sitting in this room prepare to bid farewell. To my friends and fellow classmates, when I opened by proclaiming that we have, in fact, made it, you probably thought that I was just starting with a cheesy cliche because I couldn't come up with any better way to begin my speech. Well, for those of you who thought that, you were right. But if you really think about it though, our class has been through a lot. In addition to this really cool thing, where we miraculously held imaginary practices on an imaginary track, on which we also had imaginary meets, we were also among the first classes at Perkins to experience open enrollment. Just as immigration historically strengthened America, this influx of talented students from surrounding school districts made Perkins a better place. And I speak for everyone in saying that we're glad those of you who made the switch decided to become becoming pirates. Perhaps the toughest obstacle we had to overcome, though, came during our first 3 years at the high school. Seemingly every time we walked out to the parking lot after school, we had to channel our inner Don Quixote, as daily we dealt with the fear of being assaulted by vicious, flying windmills. Finally, and certainly most traumatizing, a lucky group of us had to find a way to cope with 2, or in some cases 3, or even 4 years with the conniving English teacher, affectionately known as DeRose. For those of you keeping track, I actually did the math. That's roughly 1,474,200 seconds of utter agony, fear, and terror. On a more serious note, though, our class has also banded together and made it through its fair share of unfortunate events. Most notably, the loss of one of our own. For those of you who do not know, Andy Kalis, a boy who was in our class, who would have graduated along with all of us today, was tragically killed in an accident near his house during our 2nd grade year. Though I did not know him personally, I know several people here who did, and I feel that it would be an incredible disservice to not recognize and remember Andy on this celebratory day. Although he is no longer with us physically, Andy Kalis is still a part of the 2012 Perkins High School graduating class. So on behalf of my fellow classmates, I ask that in addition to celebrating and cherishing this special day with friends and family, that everyone also find the time to remember Andy Kalis. Now, as I previously alluded to, we in the next few moments will be leaving this school for our final time together at Perkins. Even as I speak before you all today, I still find this to be an incredibly difficult concept to grasp. Over the past several years, my dad has constantly flooded my brain with words of encouragement and has tirelessly pushed me to work as hard as I possibly could up to and through this monumental date. On days in which I was especially struggling, he reminded me that I had only a couple more years to go, or that this would be the last first Tuesday in October that I would ever have to do homework in high school. Oftentimes, I simply laughed and failed to realize just how true his statements were. Now that this date is here, though, I truly do not know what to think. Throughout the past 13 years, each of us in this room have been surrounded by amazing people with whom we've had countless unforgettable memories and experiences. Since there are so many, I'll refrain from going into details. However, as I stated in my English senior memory book, my only hope is that the next chapters of our lives are as exciting and as memorable as these first ones, because in all honesty, they've been amazing. In conclusion, I would like to leave you with a quote that I first read in 4th grade on the wall of the Jimmy John's at Ohio University. Though a fast food restaurant would not seem to be the ideal place for an inspirational quote, its message is a great one, and is something I've grown to live by since I first saw it many years ago. It reads, "If you do the things you need to do, when you need to do them, then someday you can do the things you want to do, when you want to do them." Especially as most of us prepare to head off to college, I challenge you to remember this speech, and more specifically, this quote. Whether big scale or small, I found that its powerful, yet simple message is applicable in nearly every aspect of our lives. If we all recognize this, and take its words to heart, I have no doubt that we, the Perkins High School graduating class of 2012, will take the world by storm. Thank you.
Members of the class of 2012, Dr. Purdy.